Hi. Last week I had a chat with Willie Oman at the West Australian about travel. It's kind of a strange thing to talk about at the moment, isn't it? Because most of us can't travel. But it got me thinking about travel and what its relevance is to wherever you go. So Wherever You Go is set in Western Australia, and it's set in a small town called Blackwood, which is based on Bridgetown in Western Australia. And if you've ever been there, it's really, really pretty. I'll pop a link underneath this post just to show you some pictures of what it looks like and what I was inspired by when I started to write this book. But it starts in Germany, and something terrible happens there. And if you listened to my prologue video last week, then you see that there's some bad news that really shapes how the rest of the story comes along. So travel for my main characters, Matt and Amy, is something that has caused heartbreak, to the point where Amy, who's a chef, she's really struggling when the book opens. She doesn't want to travel at all. She is probably happy to travel domestically and within the state and that kind of thing, but going overseas, no, she's been there, done that, she doesn't want to do it again. So you know that's going to be tested at some point during this book. There's another character who I really love, and her name's Irene. Irene's 70 and she's never travelled. So she's that frustrated traveller, which I was for many years, although not quite 70 yet. Irene wants to go and she wants to see Europe. She wants to see the gardens of Europe, and she wants to just for that first time experience what it's like to sit in a plane and to go through customs and all of those things. But something happens right when she's thinking she might be able to finally do that, and that stops her from travelling. Meanwhile, she has a friend who likes to tell her all about her trips overseas and that kind of thing, just to rub it in a little bit. And then we have the Around the World Supper Club, which is kind of where I bring that travelling vicariously theme all together in the book. And the Around the World Supper Club is something that happens, and that's where there's these feasts, and these feasts focus on different places around the world, like say Italy. And all of the food and the music is all very Italian for that particular feast. And so there's several of those feasts through this book where the characters get taken on this trip somewhere away from Blackwood and just experience what it's maybe a little bit like somewhere else for a while, at least from an eating sense. Anyway, that's how travel fits into this. How else does it fit into the book? Well, you'll have to read the book to find out. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that little bit of an insight into Wherever You Go.